Hello, welcome, and a very happy Easter to everyone. First of all, I've got to say that, of course, hope everyone is doing well on this Easter Sunday. It is, of course, time for a Challenge Cup, a round of 16, a watch-long here on the channel. Saracens taking on Cardiff Rugby. Kickoff is just over 10 minutes away. Really looking forward to this one, and welcome along to the watch-long. Hope everyone is doing very, very well this afternoon. If you're just joining us, please do hit the like button. It massively helps the channel. Subscribe, it's free to do. And of course, get involved in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on the game. Let me know your predictions and how you think this one is going to go. Just as a heads up, this is not actually a showing of the game. I'm not allowed to do that. It's simply a watch long. So if you want to put the game on the TV, it's live on S4C. You can get English commentary on there, and it's live on BT as well. You can do that, and you can listen to my thoughts on the game. You can get involved in the chat and have your thoughts put in the chat, and I'll bring them up as well. Lots of you already in the chat, so good to see so many of you there. Mark, hope you're doing well. We are here. We are live now. Yeah, but as Gregor says, we are live now. Gregor, hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you in the chat. Good vibes, absolutely. On BT in the UK if you have it, and also on S4C here in Wales. But you can get English commentary through the red button on that. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you in the chat as well. Can't say long, just dropping by to give the stream a like. If you're looking for another game later on, Six Nations Under-20 channel, Wales Under-18s are playing France at 2:30. We'll keep an eye out on that for sure. The game probably will be done by then, but we'll have to wait and see. Hoping Cardiff pulls something out of the bag. It's going to be a real tough game for them, isn't it? It's going to be a really, really tough game, but we will have to wait and see. And are you going to WWE in Principality Stadium? Probably not. Probably not. I'm not the biggest fan of WWE. I don't hate it, but I'm certainly not the biggest fan of it. But yeah, fantastic for the Principality Stadium to get that, and fantastic for the UK and for Wales to get that as well. So, yep, we are just about 10 minutes away from kickoff. Absolutely, Greg. I mean, heartbreak for Ulster. We will have a chat, obviously, about the other games yesterday. I caught up with a few highlights last night after the watch-along we did for Scarlet's Dragons last night. And yeah, a heartbreak for the Ulstermen there, and real tough one for them. But Toulouse are a class act, but to push Toulouse that close, and also to still have had a man sent off with 15 minutes to go, shows the quality of this Ulster team. But they've got to bounce back because they've got a big game on Friday night. You know, they've got to go and play Munster, so they've got a big, big game on Friday night. You're not going either. We'll have to wait and see how many people do head over to see that one. Let's have a look then. Let's have a look at the team news for today. We'll start with Saracens, the home team, of course, and we'll have a chat about how they are doing in the league. And I will share my screen with you so you can see. Let me just get the teams up just to make sure that we've got this one right. So, as I said, we'll start with Saracens first of all. Let me know your thoughts as we go through the teams in the comments, as always. So this is how Saracens line up. So starting at fullback, Alex Goode starts at fullback with Sean Maitland and Max Malins on the wings. Duncan Taylor and Dom Morris playing the centres. Owen Farrell is at 10 and captains the side. And Aled Davis, the Wales international, hasn't been capped for a while now, but he starts at 9. In the front row, Richard Barrington plays alongside Capelli Pifelletti. Alec Clary plays in the front row as well. Maritoja and Tim Swinson are the locks, with Andy Christie, Ben Earl and Jackson Ray playing in the back row. Leaving a bench then of Ethan Lewis, Aroni Maui, Sam Wainwright, Theo McFarlane, Billy Volipola, Ivan Zanzil, Manu Vunipola and Rotmi Segun. So you got to say a little bit of rotation from this Sarries team, which is to be expected, but it's still a very, very strong side, isn't it? If we have a look at how Cardiff line up, this is how they line up this afternoon. Hallam Amos starts at fullback with Owen Lane playing on the wing alongside Aled Summerhill. Gavin Smith and Max Llewellyn play in the centres. Big loss for them with the likes of no Ray Lilo and no Halaholo in there. Priestland gets the nod at 10 alongside Thomas Williams. That's going to be a real interesting battle, isn't it? Priestland and Thomas Williams against Farrell and Aled Davis. In the front row then, Corey Domikowski plays alongside Liam Belch and Dylan Lewis. Seb Davis plays in the locks alongside Rory Thornton, while Shane Lewis-Hughes partners Josh Navidi and James Botham in the back row. Navidi is captain, leaving a bench then of Christian Dacey, Reece Cavey, Will Davis-King, Tenny Williams, Will Boyd, Lloyd Williams, Jared Evans, and Matthew Morgan as well. I believe that these games are one-legged, aren't they? They're just one-legged games. They're not like the Champions Cup where we see all these teams, playing against each other home and away. I believe this is just a one-legged game. So down at the StoneX Stadium. So we will keep an eye out on this throughout the afternoon. Of course, there is a game later, Racing taking on Stade Francais, I believe it is. So we'll keep an eye out on that as well. But welcome in if you're just joining. Good to see so many of you in the chat. James, hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Also have you. What a surprise. Where have we seen this before? We were having that conversation last night, weren't we? And to an extent, it is true. Ulster struggle in the big games, but they are a good side. They are a good side. And as I said, massive game against Munster on Friday night, which we're probably going to be doing a watch long for that one as well. Hello to you, Johan in South Africa. Hope things are going well with yourself. Good to see you. Yeah, one-legged games for this. So, we could have the situation. Many of you may be too young to remember, but who remembers? I think it would have been 2007 where Cardiff played Leicester in the quarterfinals, I think, of one of the European Cups and lost on penalty kicks towards the post. Martin Williams missed the decisive kick. Who remembers that? Cardiff will struggle. It's going to be a tough game for them. I'll give you my predictions in just a second. If you're on YouTube, of course, vote in the poll. Let me know who you think's going to win. And Gregor is back in Racing to win later on today. Hans, hope you're doing well. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Hope you're doing well. All the way from Norway. Brilliant. Lovely part of the world. Actually, that's one place I do want to visit. I want to go to Scandinavia and visit there. I have on my bucket list to see the Northern Lights. So that is going to be the plan at some point to head to Norway. Don't know how big rugby is in Norway. Let me know, Hans. And let me know from what area of Norway you are watching from this afternoon. But it is good to be here. Let me know who you're supporting as well in the chat. Of course, the players are all set to come out in the StoneX Stadium in London. Just a reminder that I'm not allowed to show the actual game due to copyright reasons. But make sure, of course, to stick around, get your thoughts in the chat. Hit the like button, subscribe. There's an option of a super chat if you want to support the channel financially. But as I always say, absolutely no pressure to do that whatsoever. There's no pressure to do that whatsoever, but it is massively appreciated. Toulouse looked really good yesterday. They did, and of course, it's inevitable. Antoine Dupont got the winning try, didn't he, at the end of that game, and he certainly is the best player in the world. Get your thoughts, your comments in on anything rugby you really want to discuss during the course of the game, and let me know how you see this one going. And it seems like there's a decent crowd down at the StoneX Stadium all ready for this one. You don't want to go to WWE, but you want to go to Norway. Yeah, I guess so. I guess so. But WWE is an interesting one. I do like it, but there we go. There we go, indeed. So we are all set to go here. They're just quickly running through the teams one more time. Oh, God, when you say you might be too young to remember, you're only talking about 2007, I feel old. I do vaguely remember it. So I'm 24 now. It's my birthday yesterday, so I'm 24 now. So I do remember those days. My first real rugby memory, I mean, I remember the 2005 Grand Slam, but before that, not all that much, to be honest. I certainly remember losing against Fiji in 2007. I certainly remember that. Hands are fantastic. Rugby's not as big as we want it to be. Skiing and football dominate here. Obviously, you got Erling Haaland, Martin Ødegaard. You got some great players. I mean, you live in Bergen, Western Coast. Harlequins fan. Interesting. Fantastic to see that. Fantastic. If a team ever wants to be Wales, do you think they should kick a lot? Because Wales like to play with territory. If you keep them out, they can't play good plus good attack. I just think have a game plan because we simply do not. Yeah, we do not. No, I think we can talk more about Wales later, and we'll get into that. And as I said yesterday, we will be doing a deep dive video on that at some point. But lack of identity, lack of game plan is the frustrating thing for me at the minute. Right, we're all set for kickoff. And let me know your predictions in the chat. Put the name of the team you think is going to win. I'm backing Sarries to win this by 14 to 17 points. But I did predict that with the Scarlets and Dragons yesterday. And the Dragons did manage to win, although Ben Whitehouse, the referee, had a very interesting game, to say the least. So we'll have to wait and see. How long will the bigger ban be? Of course, he was sent off yesterday for Northampton Saints. We haven't heard anything yet. Usually a red card is 3 games, isn't it? Usually it's 3 games. So we'll have to wait and see, won't we? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? You're so lucky. I remember the 90s. Yeah, I remember 2007 against Fiji very, very well. Very, very well. You had it easy growing up, talk about the dark ages. We'll have to wait and see what happens now with Wales now, won't we, over the next few months. Of course, we got the summer tours, which we'll be covering on the channel. Been doing watch-alongs, previews, reviews, tactical reviews. Hopefully get some interesting interviews from fans of different countries and former players, of course. So do stick around for all of that. Saris are in their traditional black kit, while Cardiff are in their traditional blue. But do let me know your predictions in the chat. How do you see this one going? And what do you make of the way you think this one is going to go? I can really only see one winner today, to be honest. I can only see one winner. But I'm really interested to see the lights, as we're seeing on the screen here, of Ale Davis at Saris. Of course, no Nick Tompkins for them. They have rotated quite a bit, but it's still a very strong side. And you still think that they've got enough to get the win in this one. And especially being at home. The artificial surface, although Cardiff would be used to that because they do play on that. I think the players are having a minute's silence here just to remember those in Ukraine, which is fantastic to hear. And fantastic to see that the support has been shown to the people of Ukraine. I watch Ireland, that's what pain is. At the minute, I can't really say that's pain for Ireland, is it? Especially in rugby terms, maybe in football terms. I remember the 1987 World Cup. Now get off my lawn, you young punks. Hans is back in Saris to win this one by 56 points to 24. I don't know if it'll be that big, but I could see at least a 2-score game in this one for Saracens. What's the really important thing? We were meant to actually have Ben on the channel, but unfortunately technology has got the better of us. Ben, of course, runs a channel, Rock and Roll Rugby, big Cardiff fan, and he said that the opening 20 minutes are going to be key for the team today. That the opening 20 minutes got to be in the game in that opening 20 minutes. Can't concede early and let Saris start to dictate the game. But there's no denying that it's going to be a really tough game. But I'm just excited. I just want to see a good game of rugby, to be honest. I ain't that arsed who wins, to be honest. But we'll have to wait and see, although I'm wearing a Cardiff top. Pierre Bouzet is the referee, the Frenchman. So we'll have to wait and see how he officiates this one. Let's actually have a look at the poll. In the poll, 83% of you are backing Saris to win this one, while 17% are backing Cardiff, 0 going for the draw. So we'll have to wait and see. But big challenge for Cardiff here. The things they've got to get right. They've got to control the game as much as possible, but they've got to be patient. Reece Priestland has just got us underway, so we've just kicked off here. The game is live on S4C and on BT Sport as well. If you want to watch on S4C and you're not a Welsh speaker, you can get English commentary on the red button on that. So off we go then. A little bit of kick tennis to get us underway here. Cardiff, of course, in their traditional blue, while Saracens are in their full black kit. And as Good clears it downfield, looking for the early 50-22, but it is kept alive here. Back to Hallam Amos, who decides to run it. And Cardiff just inside their own 22, looking to play early on here. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to go for this. And it looks like Thomas Williams is going to box kick this one away. And with just a minute on the clock, he does. Still in the air, taken well though here by Saris. Potentially a chance to go wide here. Lovely step inside. Good tackle on Earl. Saracens into the Cardiff half, possession there for the first time for them. Aled Davis, of course, scrum off into Farrell, the captain. Good, with a little bit of a loose pass. Sarri's back in their own half now. As Aled Davis gets there, Farrell looking for the chip over the top. There's a little bit of space in behind, but it's well taken by Priestland in the end, and Hallam Amos will clear it downfield. A little bit of kick tennis going on here. Sarri's beginning to dominate a little bit in these early moments of the game, though, and Farrell sends it up, chasing his own kick. Ooh, bounces awkwardly for Cardiff, but offside from Saracens, so penalty to Cardiff. Bit crazy there. Funny how Wales have Australia and Fiji in their group in the World Cup, which is in France, which are the same two in 2007, which was also in France. It is interesting. It's a tough group. It's a really tough group. Australia are improving, and Dave Rennie, Fiji, naturally are probably one of the most talented teams in the world. But whether they can put that together for 80 minutes, but they pushed us really close in the autumn, didn't they? And they had a red card early on in that one. I think only Sal got sent off in that one. So Cardiff have sent this one down into the Sarries 22. I'm talking about 2010, 2009, 2008, 2006, and every World Cup ever played. The quarterfinals, the dreaded quarterfinals, isn't it, for Ireland? The dreaded quarterfinals. So Cardiff coming forward here in the 22 of Sarries. Both teams have had decent possession. Lovely line there. And the big thing for Cardiff, you feel, is to be patient. Don't force things. Just be patient. As I say, that's a very loose pass from Josh Navidi, but it did go backwards. It's still there for Cardiff, just outside the 22 of Saracens. 3 minutes and 5 seconds gone. Still 0-0. Cardiff had a minute, holding up pretty okay. Priestland using the forwards here. Good patience been shown. Thomas Williams tries to go low and turns inside, but he's caught. Made a few meters, though. Cardiff coming forward nicely here, tackled by Maro Toje. There are still a few big players out there for Sarries, but it's obviously not their full-strength team. Now that's a knock-on from Cardiff, so advantage here to Saracens. What are they going to do with it here? Aled Davis gets it out. Farrell looks up and sends it down, looking for the space. It's not a bad kick at all. Is that going to bounce into the 22? It's not, but it's going to be a line out to Cardiff just outside their own 22. So decent build-up from Cardiff, but pretty comfortable on the whole for Sarries. Stephen, hope you're doing well, mate. Commiserations about yesterday, obviously. Real tough loss that to take. But as you say, as the police decide to go past my house, probably one of the best crowds at Ravenhill for years, and was so scared, gutted, but still in the league. Absolutely. And the big thing you've got to remember, of course, is that massive game against Munster on Friday night, which we're going to be doing on the channel. I assume, Stephen, you'll be going to that because that is at home for you guys. But that's another massive game. And also, in a weird way, it can be a blessing in disguise because it means you can turn your full attention to the league. Nobody wants to get knocked out, but it does mean that your focus can turn ever so slightly, potentially, to the league. Good hands here from Saracens on the Cardiff 10-metre line. And it's a penalty here to Saracens, not rolling away. Cardiff caught then. Interesting decision here for Saracens to make. Do they stick this in the corner or do they go for the points? I think they'll probably go for the corner. James Cody asking Stephen, what is the future of Ulster? Where are you going? Because it seems to be the same each year in Europe. As I said, it could be a blessing in disguise that you can now just concentrate on the league. Saracens here with a line out about 8 metres out. Neil seems to think that Cardiff going to take a hiding. It's going to be a tough game for them. There's no denying that. But they started okay. And the big thing for Cardiff is they've got to be in the game in the first 20 minutes. Their discipline has to be good. Line out taken here by Saracens, and the driving maul is set up. Not really moving all that much. Cardiff have done pretty well here, but they need to keep their binding. The backs get involved in this driving maul, but it seems like Saracens have managed to collapse their own maul here. If it's still going, I think it is. I think that ball might have come loose. It's still moving forward. Where's that ball? It's gone down, and Cardiff have managed to turn this over, which is quite the feat, and it will be cleared. And that's a very good defensive set from Cardiff. The kick is poor, though, so ball here for Saracens as they come forward once again. Ball is there for Aled Davis, but penalty to Cardiff, holding on to the ball, turnover by Cardiff, and 6.5 minutes gone in this one, still 0-0. Cardiff winning the little battles in the game, which they'll need to slow Saracens down. That's what they're going to have to do. You could give Ireland and Luxembourg in the quarterfinal and we'd find a way to bottle it. I mean, the interesting question about Ireland is, I'm not saying it specifically right now, but are they peaking too early? I mean, we saw last autumn how good they were. They were pretty good in the Six Nations. They're now going to go to New Zealand this summer, which is going to be an incredible series, by the way, which I'm so excited for. But, I mean, it's going to be interesting, a year and a half away from a World Cup. Are they peaking maybe too early? We'll have to wait and see. Line out here to Cardiff then. Good angle from Navidi on the 10-metre line of Saracens. Sarri's trying to turn it over, but illegally. So, penalty advantage here to Cardiff. And what are they going to do with it here? Priestland gets it out wide. Good hands here. Owen Lane tackled. No penalty advantage, so we'll come back for the original penalty. And interesting to see what Cardiff do here. If you think this is kickable, yes, and Priestland points towards the post. I think Cardiff have started really well in this one. Really, really well in this one. And a chance for Rhys Priestland to give Cardiff the lead nearly 8 minutes into this first half. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Stephen there saying, I think Ulster is still in a good place. A lot of young homegrown players still to come out the best. I think we can go again next year, if not better. Absolutely. And now, of course, focus does turn to the league. And you've got some big games coming up. There are lots of derbies coming up over the next couple of weeks, which we'll be covering on the channel, of course. So, Rhys Priestland with a chance to give Cardiff the lead early on in this one. And I think they've had a really good game plan. They've kept it tight. They've kept their discipline very, very well. And now there's a little bit of a wind, but pretty good conditions for kicking rugby. And Rhys Priestland has swerved that beautifully through the post. And Cardiff take an early lead here. Cardiff lead at the StoneX Stadium by 3 points to 0 in this round of 16 clash. Of course, just a one-legged game. So winner takes all today. And Sarries get us back underway. Navidi collects it for Cardiff. Good run from him to take them outside the 22. And it's these little things that Cardiff are going to have to do. They know that on paper, Sarries are better. They know that. But they're going to have to take the easy points. They're going to have to keep their discipline, which Sarries are struggling with because they've just given a really silly penalty away. And it'll be an easy exit for this Cardiff team. And this is what Cardiff are going to have to do. They're going to have to just win those small battles, keep it tight, take the points when they get the opportunity to do so and play in the right areas of the field. Sean, hope you're doing well, mate. Good to see you in the chat. As always, I hear in South African Rugby Magazine that there could be a chat about B division in the URC and heads of the unions will chat about it at the end of April, be called URC Shield Series. Is that going to be for new teams to come in or is that more for academy sides? So let me know what you think that's going to be. But that would be really interesting. A little bit of a mess from that kick there, from that line out there. And Thomas Williams has put it out on the full. So it's going to be a line out here to Sarries just inside their own half. 10 minutes gone in this one. Line out taken. And the ball is out here towards the back. Aled Davis gets it out. Big carries coming in here from the Sarries. Ooh, what happened there? Referee got in the way, I think. Or knocked on by Cardiff. I think he was knocked on by Cardiff. So it's going to be a scrum here. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. Johan says, Ireland vs All Blacks will be a tight series. I think that's going to be the series of the summer. You know, England going to Australia. I can only really see England winning that. Wales going to South Africa. I can only really see South Africa winning that. Scotland going to Argentina. That could actually be quite interesting because in Argentina, it's not easy. But then, of course, Ireland going to the All Blacks. Along with France, those three are. But I feel like you got France, Ireland, and New Zealand, and them three are quite a bit above the rest of the world at the minute. I feel like they are quite a bit above the rest at the minute. Them three, I think, I said yesterday, I said Ireland, France, New Zealand, and South Africa, and maybe England, you point to that conversation, I think could win the World Cup next year. I don't see any other team winning it out of them five. And I would say maybe England, because England always seem to have a bad year, and then next year they seem to bounce back. And they seem to peak at the right times for World Cups, except for 2015 when we knocked them out of their own World Cup. But it'd be interesting to see. So a little bit of kicking going on here. Owen Farrell looking for the space in behind. Oh, that bounce is very kind for Saracens. Cardiff need to jump on that. Saracens into the 22 here. Marotoje carries. Oh, he's shoved right back. And the ball comes out wide here. Good hands. And the pass has gone forward, though. And Saracens flustered a little bit by Cardiff in these early stages, you'd have to say. Maybe trying to force the pass a little bit too much. But some good pressure coming on from Cardiff. And yeah, that kick from Farrell was lovely. The bounce was very fortuitous in favour of Saracens. I think someone just needs to jump on that ball from a Cardiff perspective. But then the pass out wide here is a forward pass. Itoje gets tackled by Domikowski, and he is absolutely floored and sent packing. So far from Cardiff, pretty good. Although you feel like Saracens are beginning to get things together a little bit. Let's have a look at some more of your comments. I would like to see a second division in the USA of Spain, Portugal, Romania, etc. As franchise teams should help their teams really develop. I absolutely agree. I'd love to see that. And also, you know, get some Georgian teams in as well. I was actually quite surprised. Not surprised that the South African teams were brought in, but I felt that that was the opportunity to bring those Georgian teams in, those Spanish teams. But of course, you got the Super Cup, I think it's called, which has these teams. So like yesterday, they were doing the semi-final. So you had a team from Israel playing against a team from Spain, I think it was. Don't know who won that in the end, but they do have things like that. And I think the Sevens program for these nations is making a massive difference as well. And the Seven series at the minute is on. It's on in Vancouver. So watched a few of the games yesterday, which was good fun. So scrum here to Cardiff, though. Nearly 15 minutes into this one. Cardiff still leading by 3 points to 0. And so far, so good from them. I think Cardiff will be aware that if they open up too much and if they start to attack too much and be too open, you know, try and attack from stupid areas in the pitch, that they will get caught out. That's been knocked on. Offside from Cardiff, though, that's a silly penalty to give away. Cardiff penalised for offside, then a chance here for Saracens. This is a big call for Saracens, really. Do they stick this in the corner? Do they say, right, we just need to get some points on the board, so we're just going to look to get this over if we can. And we're waiting to see what the decision will be. I think they're going to go for the points here. Yes, they are. So Owen Farrell is lining this up. So first chance for Saracens to get their first few points of the game. But as I was saying, I think Cardiff have managed this game really, really well. They want to be, obviously, more in the 22 of Sarries and more in the right areas of the pitch. But at the minute, they've managed the game pretty well. That's just a really small little silly penalty to give away, and Farrell's a pretty consistent goal kicker. So, but the wind is pretty strong down at the Stonex Stadium. So let's see if he can get this first chance, though, for Sarries to get some points on the board. As Farrell lines this one up and he kicks, and he is successful. And so Sarries have their first points of the afternoon. Saracens 3, Cardiff 3. 15 minutes gone in this one. Let me know your thoughts on the game so far in the chat. What do you make of it? Andy Farrell, the Irish head coach, is down watching the game. Interesting. Wonder who he's watching. Very interesting to see him down there. Probably just supporting his son, isn't he, really? You'd think. Oh, excuse me. Line out here, though, to Cardiff. Just inside their own half. And it's won well in the air. And that is another thing that Cardiff needs to get right today, is get their set pieces as strong as possible. Thomas Williams gets it out and sends it down. And it's well taken here by Max Malins. First chance for him to run. Tackled, though, just inside his own half. Alan Davis. And now Saracens, can they get this ball moving forward? Is that a turnover? Brilliant turnover from Cardiff. And once again, just getting in the right areas of the pitch, managing to frustrate this this Saracens team. And I've got to say, Cardiff are winning those battles around the pitch at the minute and doing that very, very well. It's James Botham, actually, who's managed to get the turnover. And Priestland will stick this in the corner. Oh, sort of corner. It's more 18 metres out or so. But it's a brilliant turnover, noting that he's isolated and just takes the man. And we'll see what happens from here. We'll have a look at your comments in just a second, folks, but we'll see what happens from this passage of play. Line out taken, but I think Cardiff penalised for narrowing the gap. It's a bit of a silly one, to be honest, for that position as well that you're in. And that's a really frustrating one for Cardiff, because it's the first time you've really been in their 22 for a while. And yet, you've given away a really needless penalty. Bit of kick tennis going on now between the two sides. As Farrell sends this one up, being chased by Good. But well taken in the air by Thomas Williams. Cardiff with the ball just inside their own half here. Will go through the forwards. Now look to release the backs. Lovely step inside from Max Llewellyn. He's got options left and right. This is a lovely pass, and it's been dropped by Alan Summerhill. Oh, if he catches that, he's in and he scores. There's no doubt that he scores. There's no doubt that he scores if he catches that. Sorry, Owen Lane drops it. Oh, it's a lovely break. I think is it Max Llewellyn? Yeah, it's Max Llewellyn. Gives it to Owen Lane. Hallam Amos has made the break. There's really no reason for Owen Lane to be dropping that. He has to catch that. He has to catch it. If he catches that, he scores and Cardiff are in. He has to catch that, honestly. But a really positive from Cardiff. And Dai Young will be happy with the way they've started. But that's those moments in games like that against a quality side like Saracens, where they will have moments in the game where they will dominate, they will get points. Got to be taking it. But scrum here to Sarries then from that knock on. About 8 metres out. Solid shove coming in here from Cardiff, but Sarries do manage to get it out. And Alan Davis wants a little bit of cover because he's going to look to clear this one. And the forwards will take responsibility for now. We're heading towards the halfway point of this first half. 20 minutes gone. Still Saracens 3, Cardiff 3 in this Challenge Cup round of 16. Just a one leg, so winner takes all today. And that will be a line out to Cardiff just inside the Saracens half. Let's have a look at some of your comments. We're talking, of course, about our Ireland peaking maybe a little bit too soon. I don't think Ireland are peaking too soon. They did under Schmitz in 2018, but it's easier to stop a forward-crushing attacking style compared to stop an expansive backline attacking style. I guess so. I do guess so. I'd be interested to know I know we've got a few Irish folk in the chat today. Johnny Sexton, not that I think he's past it or anything like that, but if he's not in the team, does this team still function? Does this team still function? I know Carby had a decent Six Nations, but how big of a loss is he? Because I think if you take him out of the team, I think this Irish team struggle quite a bit, to be honest. So I'd be interested to know your thoughts. Stephen says, well, for the teams who also need to slip up to remain second place on Munster, Glasgow, Stormers and Sharks, it's a really interesting battle for that top 6, isn't it? And that is going to be really interesting. A penalty here to Cardiff, though. Saracens giving away a lot of sloppy penalties. And Priestland will stick that into the 22, probably about 10 metres out. The style of rugby that Ireland are playing at the minute is very hard to stop, so it might be that the style they're using now can still work and be effective next year in the World Cup. I don't think Ireland have peaked because there's so much more things to improve on, which is good for us. As an Ireland fan, I want 4 out of 5 wins, as it would allow room to improve. Yeah, I saw that. That was great. Jack Noel yesterday in the full Munster kit on his stag do. Of course, he is an Exeter player. Exeter were playing Munster yesterday. Munster getting a pretty emphatic win in the end, to be honest. A solid driving maul here from Cardiff. Oh, it's been stolen by Saracens. Brilliant steal from the home team there. Another missed opportunity, really, for this Cardiff team. And Cardiff with it just inside the Saracens half here. Thomas Williams will get it out into Domikowski. And going to the forwards now is what Cardiff are going to do. Cardiff have been in 2 decent positions in the 22 and have not managed to retain the possession, and that will be a frustration for them because, as I said before, Saracens are going to come strong. Although the bench isn't that strong from Sarries, I thought they'd have kept their big players on the bench just to bring them on if they need to, but maybe they're just not prioritising this competition. Maybe that's the way they see it. Good calls for the mark there, so nothing coming from that one. I'm optimistic about Ireland for the World Cup than for any of this previous. Oh my gosh, that's a hell of a kick. That's a hell of a kick from Good. That's a 50-22 right there. That is a hell of a kick. Wow. That is a monster kick from Good. I'm more optimistic about Ireland for this World Cup than for any of the previous. Fowler's far more a proactive coach than Smith. He's willing to try things that Joe Schmidt would not. I've lost the will to live when it comes to Ireland World Cup. Spend so much money on going to World Cup games and heartbreak. Yeah, it's always the quarterfinals for Ireland, isn't it? But I think Ireland's had a very, very good chance this year. And also being in France, don't rule how big, being in France will be for Northern Hemisphere teams. The clock difference is a 1 hour difference. You're not playing in Japan where the conditions are very different. It probably won't be very warm because the World Cup takes place in the autumn. So you won't have to worry about the humidity, which was a problem in Japan. I think it will make a real big difference. I played my first sevens this morning dead, especially back to playing standard 15 aside. Sevens is class, but it does take quite a bit of physical ability, doesn't it? And a lot of stamina. And that's something that I do not have. So there we go. Right, Saracens with the ball then just outside the 22 of Cardiff here from that 50-22. Solid defence so far from Cardiff. Ball out wide. Good tackle coming in on Max Malins. Into the 22 now. Maritoje carries. Cardiff need to be concentrating here now. Advantage, though, to Saracens. And I think it was an offside from Cardiff. It's going to be interesting to see here, with 15 minutes to go till half time, what is the decision? They're going to go for the points, which shows quite a bit of respect to Cardiff, you feel, as well. Couple of players receiving treatment here. And of course, the game later on is Stade Francais against Racing. That's the game later on. And I can't talk. Owen Farrell has added the 3 points. So Saracens take the lead for the first time in this one. Saracens leading here by 6 points to 3 with about 15 minutes to go until half time. But I think the game plan has been pretty solid so far from Cardiff. But I was just messaging Ben there, and he was saying they're just wasting opportunities where you're in the 22 of Saracens. Just retain your possession. As long as you do that, if it's good turnover or if it's good work from Saracens, fair play. But if you're giving the ball away cheaply with silly penalties, can't really afford to be doing that against this team. But we have got back underway. And the ball is with Cardiff just inside their own half here. Thomas Williams gets it out. Domikowski carries. Ball out once again. Here's Priestland. Reece Priestland gets it out wide. Llewellyn. Good hands here. Owen Lane comes in field. Decent defence from Saracens. And Thomas Williams says enough is enough. And I think this one is going to go to the air. I will be watching the FA Cup later. Yes, I will be. Palace against Chelsea. So not really got a dog in the fight in that one, but looking forward to it nonetheless. The FA Cup special competition, isn't it? So, yeah, looking forward to that. Shame that Conor Gallagher isn't allowed to play for Palace. I think he's been a big player for them, but it'll be interesting to see how Chelsea bounce back. I'll be really interested to see that. Here is the tactic. If you qualify by the South Africa game, they play the worst possible. No point playing your best team. Win or lose tier 1. Problem for Ireland is if we get to the group, and South Africa and Scotland in the group, not a guarantee. We have France or Ireland in the quarterfinals. We can beat both, but very hard. Yeah, it's going to be really, really tough, isn't it? I mean, I just think it's going to be a really, really tough World Cup. I really do. And I think... Yeah, I think it's going to be really tough for a lot of teams, to be honest. As I said, I think there are 5 teams that can win it. Who I think will win it, yeah, I'm not too sure at the minute. A year and a half away from a World Cup is too early, really, to be predicting that. A high tackle there from Saracens, but I don't think there's anything more serious than just a penalty. And they're going to look to clear this one downfield, heading towards the half-hour mark. And this one, Saracens still leading by 6 points to 3. I think if Cardiff and all the Welsh club sides could only have the same belief that the national team has, they'd be way more successful. Certainly have won a few European Cups. I agree to an extent, but I think we have to be realistic. Rugby in Wales is big, yes, but there are 4 professional sides in Wales. They're all based in South Wales. It would take me, if I was to drive to watch either of the regions, it would take me at least 3 hours to get there. At least 3 hours, probably longer, to be honest. If I was to get a train to watch Ospreys play, that would take me about 5 hours to get there. Probably because the trains in Wales aren't great. And also the population, it's not massive. There's 3.5 million people in Wales. So it's not massive. But then you could say the same about New Zealand, but New Zealand really doesn't have a sport that at all competes really with rugby union. You could say that rugby league is okay size there, but football isn't big there at all. Boxing has a little bit of a place there. Cricket maybe a little bit. But rugby union is by far the most popular sport. Everything goes to rugby. Everyone plays rugby. Everyone's involved in the game pretty much. Here in Wales, I feel like football really has taken a real grip, a real hold on people here in Wales, especially with the success of the national team now and the lack of success of the Welsh team. But it's a bit of a mess. It is a bit of a mess, regional rugby at the minute. And I don't know, it's an odd one because a lot of people say, oh, wouldn't you rather have like Louis Rees-Zammit in playing in the URC, playing for one of the 4 regions, or wouldn't you rather have Dan Biggar playing for one of the regions? The problem is they don't play week in, week out, because it seems like because the Welsh Rugby Union maybe pays half their salary, there seems to be that worry about playing them in those games that maybe they're not necessary. I mean, yesterday's teams for that derby were nowhere near full strength, either through injuries, but also just, I don't know, it's not great, really, the standard, I don't think, particularly. And honestly, I mean, Saracens have basically put out their second team today, barring 1 or 2. And they're probably going to win this game. So I think that tells you everything you need to know. Line out here, though, to Saracens, 5 metres out from that penalty. Marito, oh, it's overthrown from Sarri. So chance here for Cardiff to clear their lines. I also think the other big thing is we've seen a lot of awareness being raised about concussion, about head injuries, about life after rugby. And, as great as, as good as that is, I do think it is putting a lot of parents off sending their children to play rugby. Like if I had a child, which I definitely do not, but if I did, I wouldn't have an issue with them going to play rugby. But there are some parents who'd be like, why would I want to risk my child potentially having a head injury? Although there's always a risk in everything. Rugby is a physical game. Players getting much bigger, getting much more physical, getting stronger, getting quicker. So the pressure is always there. Advantage here to Sarri, just outside the 22 of Cardiff. Cardiff beginning to struggle now. They need to hold on before half time here. You feel half an hour gone in this one, 10 minutes ago until half time. We'll come back for the original penalty. The referee isn't going to have a word with them yet. And it looks like Owen Farrell is going to stick this one over the post if he can. And it's right in front of the stick, so you think he'd get this. But Saracens just taking the points here. So penalty here to Sarri, pretty much right in front of the sticks, just outside the 22 for Owen Farrell to give Saracens a 6-point lead. You feel like Cardiff need to hold Sarri's out before half time so they can get in at half time and assess where they're at with it all. Farrell adds the 3, making it 9 points to 3. And you do feel like they need to think now, okay, can we hold them out until half time? We reassess things at half time and we go again. And that all came from the penalty. I think Navidi caught there, wasn't able to roll away. And Priestland gets us back underway. So 8.5 minutes to go until half time. Saracens reclaim it. Cardiff think they've turned it over, and they have, and that's a brilliant turnover. I'm not sure who's got it, but that's a hell of a turnover. I think it's Seb Davis who maybe got it. And this is a big decision for Cardiff now. I think I would take points here. You've not really been in the game for the last 10 minutes. I think you take points here. Yeah, I think Priestland does point it towards the post, and I think that is the right decision. Irish provinces have the same issues. The IOFU only allow the national players to play a certain number of games in mandate rest. This forced them to develop other talent, which is bearing fruit now. Yeah, maybe you could ask the question why that hasn't happened in Wales. For any of you who were watching Scholars Dragons game yesterday, it was such a mess of a game. It was entertaining, lots of yellow cards, lots of tries, but it was a mess of a game, and it is something that that the Welsh Rugby Union need to look at. Is how can we get our best players on the pitch regularly for these games to encourage crowds to go down? Because that's the other big thing is, you've got to get crowds down there watching the best players playing week in, week out. That's what they want. Big chance here, though, for Priestland to bring Cardiff back within 3. And he kicks it, and it's straight through the post. And it is Cardiff 6, Saracens 9. That's a really big 3 points, you feel, because Saracens were beginning to click. Things were beginning to go their way. Cardiff were feeling the pressure ever so slightly. But that 3 points, 6.5 minutes before half time, potentially just gives them that little bit of breathing space. If you're just joining us, by the way, folks, 9 points to 6 to Saracens, 6.5 minutes to go. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're just joining us as we watch this round of 16 clash on this Easter Sunday. Hope everyone is doing very, very well and enjoying the weather as well. It's been a lovely weekend. And Saracens with the ball just inside their own half here. looking to try and come forward if they can. And a chance here potentially for Cardiff to run with it. I think if you're Cardiff, if you're on 6 points to 9 down at half time, I think you take that. I think Cardiff actually in the opening 15 minutes, they're playing a little bit risky here, trying to throw the ball about a little bit too much. They've really been pushed back. I think for the first 15 minutes, Cardiff had the perfect tactic, but I think Saracens' just power and dominance begun to take shape. So I think just manage this last 5.5 minutes now. Try not to concede before half time and then go again in the second half. But I think on the whole, it's been a very good performance from them. Thomas Williams sends that one down. It's well taken by Good, but good running from Owen Lane. And Saracens with the possession on their own 10-metre line. Leinster, the rugby equivalent to Ajax. What I do like, though, about the Irish provinces, it seems, it doesn't feel as if there's a selfishness from the provinces. It all seems to be geared very much towards the national team. You know, that it's all geared towards getting Ireland as good as you can get them. So if you're not playing for Leinster regularly enough, you go to a Connacht, you go to an Ulster, you go to a Munster, whatever. And there seems that understanding, that acceptance that does happen. Here in Wales, that doesn't happen as much. A lot of players just stay on the bench, or they end up going to play in like the Championship in England because they're not quite the level. I would rather see these players, you know, going to the Dragons and playing week in, week out. And now that they've actually won their second game of the season, hopefully getting that little bit of confidence. But there's nothing better than playing week in, week out. Just play. If you can get some game time. And I would absolutely be in favour of seeing these players going on loan to the English Championship, because I don't think the Welsh Premiership is a particularly good standard. I don't think the step up between that and the URC is too big. It's too big. So I've got no problem with players who want to maybe go, you know, for instance, like we've got Louis Sam at Gloucester. Stay at Gloucester. You're playing at a good level. You're playing week in, week out. As Good makes half a break there. Savi's just outside the 22 here of Cardiff. Huge tackle from Josh Navidi there. 3.5 minutes to go until half time here. But as I was saying, I think I have no objection to if players want to go abroad and play in better leagues or with better clubs. A lovely break, and Saracens are going to score here just before the half-time break, and that will be that'll be frustrating for Saracens. There's no denying that will be frustrating for them, but it has been coming, and Don Morris has crossed for Saracens. A couple of players won't want to watch that again from a Cardiff perspective, missing a few tackles there. We'll have to see it again, but it is a good finish from Don Morris. And I said you felt like Cardiff needed to hold them out until half-time, because Savis could now have a 10-point lead here. It's a lovely angle. It's a really nice angle from Don Morris, and he runs it in from about 25 metres. Farrell pops it up to him, runs in on the angle, throws the dummy, and Don Morris is through the gap there. Couple of missed tackles there, but it's a good finish from him, and that try has certainly been coming. I don't know if they're going to have a look at this. No, conversion added. And so it is now 16 points to 6. And you felt just before half-time that giving away that penalty, giving away that try, was going to be really tough. Because, you know, if you go in 9-6 at half-time, not really been in the game for the last 15 minutes or so, but you've held them out in the hole. It's a frustrating one. Rhys Carre has come on, but I'm not sure for who in the front row. For Domagowski has gone off. I don't think it's a HIA. I just think it's an injury. So Rhys Carre on, former Saracens player, of course. Oh, Cardiff have managed to get this from the restart. So just inside the Savis 22. A minute and a half to go. Oh my gosh, that's a big hit from Itoje on Seb Davis. Thomas Williams switches the direction of play. Llewellyn bursts through the gap. Good tackle, though, on him. 15 metres short now. Poor pass on Thomas Williams, but the ball is still there for Cardiff. Thomas Williams gets it out. There's some space out wide if they can get it there. Hallamamos tried to go alone, potentially a little bit greedy from him, and Saracens have managed to turn this one over. And with less than a minute on the clock, you think they would try and just hold on to this and kick it off. Is Aled Davis going to kick this one already? It looks like it. And he is, and he kicks it downfield. And he reaches touch just outside the 22, and it's not a bad kick at all. So 30 seconds to go in this first half. Saracens leading by 16 points to 6 through a Dom Morris try. Is this tackle on Seb Davis? Oh, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's all good. Cardiff do win the line out. Thomas Williams bursts through the gap. Thomas Williams through the gap. Thomas Williams for the line. Can he reach it? He has reached it. I think he scored. I think Thomas Williams there scored a brilliant try. A brilliant try. Off the back of the maul, pops it up to him, and he just zigzags in. Zigzags in. I think he scored here. The ref wants to have a look at the grounding, maybe double movement, but to me, I did not see anything wrong with this. I think this is a try. I think this is a try. I don't see anything wrong with this. Gareth, glad you enjoyed from the Seychelles. You're on holiday, mate. Sounds pretty nice. Sounds pretty nice. They're going to have a look at this, but in my book, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this try. I think he's grounded it. I think he has every right to stretch for this. Is there double movement here? Has he dropped it? No. That's fine. That's a try. It's a try. What a finish. And the referee is going to give that. And Cardiff, with a chance to convert right in front of the post, could be back to within 3 right at the end of the first half. That's a huge score for Cardiff, because you were worrying for them when Dom Morris went over for Saracens a few minutes ago. But they're right back in this, and with a chance here for Priestland to give them a 3-point, just to only be behind by 3 points. And Priestland adds the 2. And at half-time, it is the half-time whistle there, folks. It is. Saracens leading by 16 points to 13. We're just watching the try back here. Lovely awareness from Thomas Williams to spot that there was 2 props in front of him. And Dom Morris tries to take him down, but it's a brilliant finish from him. Real good finish as well. And that is the half-time whistle. So at half-time, it is Saracens 13. Saracens 16, sorry, Cardiff 13. That is the halftime score. Right, we're going to take a quick 2-minute break on the channel. Just going to grab something small to eat, and then we will be back to discuss that first half and anything else that you want to chat. Good half from Cardiff, except for a 10-minute phase, wasn't it, Gareth? I thought Cardiff managed the game really, really well, and that score at the end is a huge score for Cardiff. Right, I'm going to take a quick 2-minute break on the channel. Don't go anywhere. Make sure, as always, to get your comments in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. You can follow my socials. They're all linked in the description as well. And I'll be back in just a second. Don't go anywhere. So there we go. We are back. We are back. It is half time in this one. As you can see, rolling at the bottom of your screen, the score is currently Saracens 16, Cardiff 13. Let me know your thoughts on that first half. What did you make of it? I've got to say, I've been really impressed by the game plan from Cardiff today. And I actually thought that Saracens would be well away at this point, if I'm being totally honest. But the game plan has worked really, really well for them. And I think they have to be proud of what they've done. I was just talking to Ben, of course, from Rock and Roll Rugby, who's a big Cardiff fan, just a second ago. And he was saying that the score from Thomas Williams at the end kept them in the game, but also that that he feels like they need to have that little bit more confidence to go at this Saracens team. We're just seeing some of the chances they've had, actually. That Owen Lane chance is a huge opportunity where if he catches that ball, he's certainly in and he certainly scores. But you've got to say, this Cardiff team are in the game. Saracens had a patch of the match where they were pretty dominant, pretty physical, and they were wearing this Cardiff team down. But on the whole, I've been really, really impressed by the game plan from this Cardiff team, and they can be very, very happy with that. And again, that score at the end just allows them to reset once again and analyse how they're going to take on the second half. Let me know your thoughts, though, in the chat. Get your questions, get your comments in. If you are just joining us, please do hit the like button. It massively helps. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're pushing towards 3,000 subscribers, slowly pushing towards it. So it'd be great to hit it as soon as possible. And I'm just in the process of trying to decide what games we are going to do next weekend. So I will share my screen and we'll have a look at what games are available. So next Friday, I've pretty much made my mind up on which game I'm going to do. Next Friday, we have the Stormers taking on Glasgow. We've got Ulster taking on Munster. And then we also have Edinburgh taking on Zebra. I'm pretty confident that I am going to do Ulster against Munster because it's an Irish derby. Huge game, second against fourth. And that's just a massive game, absolutely. So I'm sure we're going to do that. On the Saturday, there's a few choices to be made for sure. So we got the Bulls taking on Benetton. I think we'll probably give that one a miss, to be honest. We then got the Dragons taking on Scarlets, and we got the Lions taking on Connacht in South Africa. Both of them are around the 3 o'clock mark. So I'm not sure which one of those I will be doing. More than likely it'll be the Dragons Scarlets one. And then in the evening, we've got two massive games, two huge games right now. So we got the Chelsea Sharks taking on Leinster. So the Sharks have really improved over recent weeks. Of course, Leinster are an incredible side, but first time for Leinster in South Africa. So I'll either do that one or we'll do my team, the Ospreys, taking on Cardiff in a Welsh derby. Whichever one we do, we'll keep an eye out on the other game. But that is the one, those two are the ones that I'm really looking forward to next weekend. And we also have a game potentially we could do on the Sunday, which is Sarries against Exeter in the Gallagher Premiership as well. So there are a few options for sure that we could do. So let me know what games you would like to see in the comments. What games would you like to see next weekend? We're definitely going to do Munster Ulster. And then it's really up to you guys what you would like to see throughout the course of the rest of the weekend. So do let me know. I felt I needed a couple of weeks off, but we're back now and really looking forward to it. Let's have a look at the stats from that first half. Let me get these stats up and we'll have a look at how that first half has played out. Let's have a look here. And we will have a look at the stats from that first half. Let me share my screen with you folk. So here we go. Here are the first half stats. In terms of possession and territory, really being in favour of the away team of Cardiff. 61% possession to 56%. Meters gained, those Sarries have run the ball a lot more. And I don't think that's a particular surprise because Cardiff will be well aware of where they can play with the ball and where they can't and where it's just time just to get rid. And I think they are being very aware of that. And carries, again, very, very similar. I think the kicking will show that I think I think this Cardiff team would have kicked a lot more than Saracens. In terms of kicking, pretty good from both teams. Well, perfect from both teams in terms of kicking at the posts. In terms of rucks, very successful for this Cardiff team. That's somewhere where the back row, I said at the start, the back row could look to target this Saracens side and see if they can get an upper hand there. And they seem to be doing that 97% tackle success, breakdown success rate. Maul's 83%, so that's pretty good. The line-out's been perfect from both teams. Scrum's been pretty good as well. And 8 penalties conceded to the 5 of Cardiff shows that Cardiff are putting this Saracens team under pressure. But I do expect Saracens to improve in this second half. And as Gareth said, good half. Come on, Cardiff. We're very, very looking forward to this second half. And excited for it. Not far away now from the second half kicking off. Let's get some music on, actually. We haven't had any music on whatsoever. There we go. I'll do. And looking forward to this one. And also, while we wait, let's quickly remind ourselves, because we're talking about it a little bit earlier on, let's have a look at the World Cup pools, because I thought that could be quite an interesting little thing to do. To remind us of the World Cup pools, about a year and a half away from them. So in Pool A, you've got New Zealand, France, Italy, and Uruguay in Africa 1. You would think that's Namibia. You'd think that would be Namibia who would go into Pool 1 there, into Pool A, sorry, being Africa 1. In Pool B, we have South Africa, Ireland, Scotland, Asia Pacific 1, and Spain. You would think Asia Pacific 1, potentially Tonga or Samoa could be there, to be honest. That's what you're thinking. Spain, of course, qualifying. Spain really building up and becoming a force now in second-tier European rugby competition. In Pool C, then, we have Wales, my team, of course, Australia, Fiji, Georgia, and final qualifier winner, which could be the USA, or could be, who the USA taking on? Chile, I think they're taking on, aren't they? I think it's Chile that they're taking on. So it would more than likely be the US, you would think. And then in Pool D, you got England, Japan, Argentina, Samoa, and Americas too. So we'll have to wait and see. So those are the World Cup pools. It's going to be really, really interesting. Really interesting to see how those go. So looking forward to the World Cup. But of course, we'll be building up to that closer to the time. But really, really looking forward to it. Right, we're all set for the second half now. Really looking forward for it. Why did they make the draw so far away from the tournament? Look how the rankings have changed. It's just something they do in rugby a lot, isn't it? In football terms, you know, we're only now seeing it. But in football, obviously, you have to go through the qualifiers. Is that something they should bring to rugby? Is there time for that in the calendar? I'm not too sure. It looks like Zimbabwe rather than Namibia going on results. Wow. So no Namibia World Cup. That'll be quite a shock, really, considering they're traditionally looked at as the second strongest team in Africa, of course, behind the Springboks. Right, Saris are out, and it already looks like a couple of changes have been made for Saracens. So do let me know your thoughts throughout the course of the game. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're just joining us. Of course, completely free to do. We're pushing towards 3,000 subs. And we're ready for the second half here. Saracens are leading by 16 points to 13. Once those half-time changes are confirmed, we'll let you know. And it is Saracens who get us back underway. Saracens in their traditional black, Cardiff in their blue. Josh Navidi regains possession at the start of this second half. Of course, don't forget, it is a one-legged affair. So winner takes all today. So if we're level at the end of 80 minutes, we go to extra time. If we're level at that, which is unlikely, but it can happen. Cardiff have been involved. There will be kicks, of course, at the posts. So Saracens with possession just inside their own half here. We still get to get confirmation on who has left the field and who's come on. Let me have a look if I can actually find it through here. Not yet. So we're going to have to wait and see. I think we've seen Billy Vunipola come on. I'm pretty sure we've seen Billy Vunipola, but we'll keep you up to date on it nonetheless. Oh, Cardiff here with the ball just outside the 22 from the high kick. Yes, so Barrington has gone off for Sarries, and Maui has come on to replace him. So that is one of the changes that we've seen. But then a knock-on from Cardiff in the build-up there. Another change that we've seen. So yeah, Ray has gone off, and Billy Vunipola has come on for Saracens. There was a knock-on there by Cardiff, so it will be a scrum here to the home team. So it's going to be a scrum here to Sarries. 2 minutes into the second half, 1 try apiece. Solid scrum here from Saracens, an advantage to them, and they will get the penalty there. Cardiff penalised for turning the scrum. Maybe that was an area that they felt they were struggling in that first half, was at the scrum. That's a big scrum for them. Foul, the chance to send this one down. Of course, Maui on now, already making a difference. I think that the World Cup should be 32 teams instead of 20. Groups of 4 added second round, and I think the World Rugby would be much more likely to develop globally. Have a World Cup shield for those knocked out. I think the big thing with rugby as well, though, is that there is a massive drop-off between the top 20 in the world and the rest. I feel there's a massive drop-off. But let's have a look at the world rankings actually now. Oh, the world rankings. So currently, all right, great. That page does not work. That's just brilliant, isn't it? So currently, at the minute, South Africa, I'll actually show you. Why not? Let's just show you. It's easier. So this is how the world rankings currently look. So you got South Africa on the top, France in second, New Zealand in third, Ireland, England, Australia, Scotland, Argentina, Wales and Japan in 10. Fiji, Georgia, Samoa, Italy, Spain, Tonga, Romania, USA, Uruguay and Portugal. Then you got Canada, and then look at the teams that then are following up after that. You've got Hong Kong, Chile, Namibia, Russia, Netherlands, Belgium, Brazil, Korea, Poland, Germany, Switzerland. So if you're doing 30, saying that the likes of Poland, Korea, Brazil, Belgium, Netherlands can be there. Yes, they are improving. Would it be embarrassing for those nations? That's the one thing you want to avoid, is embarrassment for nations taking part. But as a way of expanding the game, as a way of showing what is able to happen for these nations, it's not the worst idea either, is it? Penalty here, though, to Cardiff, by the way. Nearly 5 minutes into the second half, Priestley with a chance to draw the team level. Slightly to the left of the post. I think I'm developing a cold. Slightly to the left of the post. Probably about, you're looking about 30 metres out here. Priestland steps up, kicks. Oh, he's pulled it wide. Oh, dear me. I mean, the wind is pretty strong down there, but he has managed to pull that one wide. So let off for Saracens. And Sarries get us back underway. Oh, miscommunication there from Cardiff. And then it's a knock-on from... Oh, no, knock-off from Saracens, sorry. Gone backwards, sorry, off Cardiff. Gone backwards off Cardiff. And Saracens with a chance here to potentially run it. Alan Davis looks up, tackled though very well on the 10-metre line. Toje gone backwards, says the referee. Alan Davis, good inside ball. Lovely run here from Christie, I think it is. Tackle just short. Sean Maitland, sorry, with the break into the 22 now. Saracens. Alan Davis tries to go alone. Probably not the right idea there. Priestland tackles him. Ball is there though. 6.5 minutes into the second half. Saracens in deep in the Cardiff 22 now. Ball out wide. Good tackle coming in from Max Llewellyn. Ball trying to go out wide here. Again, good defence from Cardiff at this point. Managed to slow it down considerably. And a penalty to Cardiff as well. Huge turnover. Who's that? Is it Dylan Lewis? Dylan Lewis? Yeah, Dylan Lewis. Lovely turnover from him. And that's a huge turnover. 7 minutes gone in this second half, sorry. This just proves my last comment. All Tier 1 nations in 2 groups. They play each other in the quarterfinals. Yes, but do you really want to dictate what happens with groups? I'm not too sure. There is a massive drop-off, but they will never bridge the gap if they can't compete. I was asked lots of questions by people in South America on visits. If their teams can't qualify, no interest. I guess so. I think you don't know until you try. You don't know until you try. You know, we've had results in World Cup years where, who remembers when Japan played New Zealand? Oh, gosh. Must have been 2003, I think. They lost by over 100. But look how much Japan have developed since then. So maybe it is worth the conversation. Maybe it is worth the conversation. A couple of players receiving some treatment here. Happy Easter, by the way, to everyone. Easter Sunday today, if you're celebrating. Happy Easter to you. Hope everyone is doing well today and enjoying their weekend. Extended break here in the UK, that's for sure. Oh, a great kick from Priestland right into the 22. Here's going to be a line out here to Cardiff about, what? You're looking at about 8-9 metres out. So line out here then, 8 minutes into the second half, 8 metres out, attacking line out for Cardiff. Can get this right. Good line out, driving maul set up. Starting to move, but Thomas Williams gets it out the back, tries to go alone, 5 metre short into Owen Lane, and Owen Lane's going to score here for Cardiff. And Cardiff take the lead at the StoneX Stadium. What a try that is from the away team. And Cardiff lead here by 18 points to 16. Owen Lane making up for his earlier mistake there. Thomas Williams with a lot of power to get through that first tackle. Great support line coming in from Owen Lane there. And what a finish that is. Driving maul, it isn't really going anywhere. Thomas Williams steps inside, and Owen Lane is there on a brilliant support line. And it's a lovely little finish from him. And 9 minutes into this second half, Cardiff have their second try and have the lead. And Reece Priestland adds the 2. And Cardiff lead here by 4 points, leading here by 20 points to 16 at the StoneX Stadium. Do let me know your thoughts on that. Brilliant finish from them. Now you feel next score is really important in this one. If Cardiff can get another score. Pifelletti is off, by the way, for Saracens. And Lewis is on in the front row. So Saracens here with possession just inside their own half. Half an hour to go in this one. Cardiff leading by 4 points. This will be a huge upset. Because it's not even Cardiff's first team either. It's not as if they've gone with full strength side out there. Delighted for Cardiff, a bit of belief to get them a long way. And let's keep the momentum going. That's what Gareth says, absolutely. I think the next score is key in this one now. If Cardiff can get another try here, it means Sarries are really going to have to start to play. And Sarries' bench is not particularly strong. It's not as if they've put players on the bench. We'll bring them on if we need them. I'll be taking my in-laws from South America to a Munster game when they come visit. They're excited to see a rugby game, considering how much I said I like the game. Well, Munster Thomond Park is a fantastic place to watch rugby, really is. One of my favourite stadiums I've ever been to. Although Ospreys, we did lose there, but an incredible stadium, great atmosphere, silence for the kickers. Fantastic, fantastic place to be. Couple of players receiving some treatment here. A couple of players getting some water. It is a pretty warm day today, isn't it, in the UK? To an extent, yes, but to an extent, no as well, Gareth. I mean, let's just have a quick look at their bench. If I remember correctly, there's not many big names on there. Let's just get it up. Sorry if I'm sniffing a bit. I think I'm developing a cold. Looking at the bench, they've already bought Billy Vunipola on. They've already bought Evony Maui on. The only other person they got is Manu Vunipola, who can play at fly half. But apart from that, they really don't have all that much on the bench. But they are going to get a pretty good drive here from the scrum, and they have got the advantage here. I think Manu Vunipola, sorry, is on already, actually. Sean Maitland here on the left-hand side, tackled by Josh Navidi, still playing the advantage, though. Ball inside to Billy Vunipola. Another ball inside, lovely ball inside to Max Malins, and Sean Maitland is going to score under the posts. A little bit too easy from a Cardiff perspective, but Saracens bounce back in this one. Sean Maitland finishes for Saracens, and it is now 21 points to 20. Let's have a look back here. Alan Davis gets it out into Vunipola, into Malins, and then into Sean Maitland. Again, missed tackles costing this side. Lovely finish from Sean Maitland right under the posts. And you'd expect the two to be added over comfortably. And Owen Farrell does add them, so extends the lead. But still a 3-point game. We said we felt the next score was really important, didn't we, in this one? And Max Malins did really, really well there. I don't know if Cardiff could have done more about it. Again, the missed tackle, Seb Davis and Dylan Lewis missing the tackles there. But he spots the gap. He spots that there are two props. And he spots that gap. So we got about 27 minutes to go in this one. Sarries leading by 23 points to 20. Most likely to be Musgrave Park because I live in Cork, but as I haven't taken them to Limerick yet, watching the game in the Holy Land of Thomond might be a great experience. Well, got to do both. Got to do both, eh? Got to do both. Oh, gosh. Two players from Sarries running into each other there, taking each other out in the air. Saracens with the ball, though, here inside their own half. They're beginning to purr a little bit. Farrell sends it back down. You feel like Cardiff just need to sail back down into the game now. Alam Amos chasing his own up and under. Almost gets it back for himself, and it has gone back into Cardiff hands here. Aled Summerhill carries. Navidi on the 10-metre line of Saracens here. Thomas Williams into Reece Carey. Head down, tries to go through, tackled. Penalty to Cardiff. Not rolling away from Saracens there. So chance here for Cardiff. Big decision here. I think I would take points here. Just get that scoreboard ticking. Alan Davis penalised there. So it is going to be a chance here. What's the decision here? Big decision to make. Do you stick this in the corner? Do you take the points? They've had good success off their driving mauls so far. They are going to take the points right in front of the sticks on the 10-metre line. There is a bit of a wind down there. It looks as if it's settled down a bit. It's a tight game. I mean, if Priestland gets this, we're 23-all with 25 minutes to go, or less than that even. And it does look like the wind has really died down. As Priestland sticks that through the post, and it is now 23 points to 23. Cardiff back on level terms. And Cardiff really sticking in this one. Absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I'd love to live closer to one of the Welsh regions or even a Premiership side, but the closest team to me is Sale, and you're looking at a 2-hour car journey to get there. At least 2 hours to get there. You know, AJ Bell Stadium isn't even in Manchester, to be honest. It's quite a bit further out. I think there's a penalty here to Sarries straight after the restart, and from Cardiff that will be a frustration. It might have been a knock-on, actually. I think it's a knock-on. Yeah, I think it's a knock-on in the tackle. So scrum to Sarries here. So scrum here then to Saracens. So big scrum this, you feel, for Cardiff. Can they hold them out? And the scrum has really struggled for Cardiff. But solid scrum there. Alan Davis on the back of this one gets it out. Sarries in the 22 here. Don Morris, one of the try scorers for Saracens. Going through the forwards, here comes Earl. Tackled. James Botham trying to turn that one over, but tackled. Vunipola gets it out into foul. Foul inside ball into Max Malins. Max Malins one more into Sean Maitland, and Sean Maitland has crossed, and that's a huge try in the context of this one. A little bit too easy again from Saracens. Missed tackles from Cardiff are really costing them. There's quite a few missed tackles going in here from Cardiff. Saracens noticing the mismatches. It's a good finish. Someone flies out the line there from Cardiff. I'm not sure who it is. And that creates the space for Max Malins. It's Priestland. Priestland's flown out the line there. And he's been caught out. But 20 points, 28 points to 23. Chance here for Owen Farrell to extend the Saracens' lead to 7. Nearly 60 minutes on the clock here. So Owen Farrell. Big kick this, you feel, as well. Owen Farrell steps up, kicks. Has he got it? No, he's pulled it wide. So it remains 28 points to 23 in favour of Saracens. Saracens with 3 tries now. Cardiff with 2, but with just under 20 minutes to go, it's going to be an interesting one again. You feel if Saracens get the next score, it's probably game over, to be honest. But if Cardiff score, I mean, it's game back on, isn't it? It really is game back on. If you're just joining us, by the way, as I said there, 28 points to 23 to Saracens in the round of 16 Challenge Cup. Round of 16, one-legged game, so winner takes all today. Make sure to get involved in the chat, hit the like button, subscribe, of course, it's free to do, helps grow the channel, and get involved in the chat. Let me know your thoughts on the game. We have got back underway here. Cardiff with the ball inside their own half. And I'll be interested to see what the response is from Cardiff. Looking to play, Maritoje has left the field and McFarland has come on in his place. So Saracens ringing the changes. They, of course, have a huge game next Sunday as they take on Exeter. Penalty advantage here to Cardiff just inside the Saracens half. Saracens' discipline has been pretty bad all afternoon, I've got to say. Dylan Lewis, Priestland, Reece Carey knocks it on in the tackle. No advantage though. Big decision here for Cardiff. Do they take the points or do they stick this in the corner? It's a good position to do either, to be honest. On the 10-metre line, very central. Big decision here. I think Priestland is going to stick this in the corner. Oh no, I think they're going to take the points. They're going to take the points here. It's a little bit further back than he expected. Still thinks that he can get it. So Cardiff looking to take the points here. Where am I based? I'm in North Wales, on the North Wales coast, Gareth. So yeah, pretty far away. I mean, I've got RGC, which is obviously the North Wales semi-pro team. They play about half an hour, so I try and see them. Watch a lot of grassroots rugby as well. Yeah, try and watch the Welsh regions as much as I can, because I feel if you're going to give your opinion on the national team, you need to understand the regional game first. You need to understand what's going on at that level first. So Reece Pearson with a chance to draw it back to 5 points. Has he got it? And it sneaks just inside the post. And Cardiff are back into within 2 points. 26 points to 28. Saracens still leading, but Cardiff very much still in this one. Difference between Munich and Dublin might just be slightly bigger. Not sure, though. I think it is. I'm a 20-minute drive from Musgrave, so feel very lucky. However, do seem to almost carry the Richard Harris curse when I go to the stadium. Munster seem to lose. I need to choose my games wisely. Richard Harris was considered so lucky. He was banned from Thomond Park. The one game they lifted the ban on him, they left him in at half-time when with Munster 3 tries up. They lost and ban reinstated. Poor guy. Alan Summerhill off for Cardiff. Matthew Morgan on. So does Hallam Amos go to the wing, or do you stick Matthew Morgan on the wing? That'll be an interesting one. I'm not the biggest fan of Matthew Morgan, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think he's that great a play. I think going forward, he's got a lot of ability, but defensively, he's a huge liability, honestly. And I know a few years ago, people were talking about him as potentially being a regular for Wales. Nowhere near that level. Nowhere near that level. Here comes Saracens, though. From the line out, outside the 22 of Cardiff here. Alan Davis at the base of this scrum. 18 minutes to go in this one. 2-point lead for Saracens. Comes down to some big decision making from both teams now. Alan Davis, Vunipola acting as the first receiver. Max Malins goes through, but he falls over. Matthew Morgan stops him in his tracks. Ball out wide here, though. Maitland tries a little grubber through. Is it going to work? Where's that gone? It's not down into Alan Davis's hands. Is that going to count? I think they're going to have a look at this. The try has been given, so I will update my scoreboard, but I think they might have a look at this. Is Alan Davis onside from the kick? It's a bit of a mess, this try. Comes here to Maitland, sticks the kick through. Who does it come off? That's the big question. I think it comes off a Cardiff man, so I don't think there's anything wrong with this finish. Let's have a look. Yeah, it comes off Owen Lane and bounces into the hands of Alan Davis, who will not have an easier try, to be honest. And that is a try. And is that the try to win the game? Maybe. And as Gareth says, poor defence seems to be the theme in recent weeks for Cardiff. Yeah, it was great. It seems to be the big theme for Welsh teams this season in the URC. We've shown glimpses going forward of things that we can do, but defensively is where we are really, really lacking. So chance here for Owen Farrell to give Saracens a 9-point lead in this one as we head towards the final 15. Farrell kicks. Is it good? Is it good? He's missed the kick. That's a big miss. It keeps this Cardiff team still in the fight. Just over 15 minutes ago, sorry. Max Maitland started the move there. He's been a dangerous player all day. Maitland sticks it through, comes off Owen Lane, and it's finished by Alan Davis. But the conversion missed, so still 33 points to 26. I watch all the Leinster games, so I believe I have a strong opinion on the national state, considering the national team is Leinster. Cheeky. But it is important, then you understand. And when you're talking about players who have been informed, who maybe have not been informed, who've been performing, then that works well. A penalty here to Cardiff in the 22 of Sarries, 15 minutes to go. This is a big call, right in front of the posts. James Botham, by the way, the turnovers he's got there, I think he's got 3 or 4. But he has been integral to the way that Cardiff have played. If Cardiff can get, it's going to be an interesting decision. I think it was actually a knock-on, maybe, or if Cardiff elected for the scrum. It's not finished, Andrea, yet. No, there's still 15 minutes to go. Still 15 minutes to go in this one. It's not finished. Saracens leading by 33 points to 26, just under 15 minutes to go. Scrum here to Cardiff then. They need to get this ball out quick. Penalty to Saracens. They were just too slow to get the ball out there. The minute that scrum starts to move against you, you have to get it out. And as you say there, take the points and attack from the restart. If you're going to do that, I don't know why they went for the scrum. Really weird decision to go for the scrum, considering their scrum on the whole has struggled today. I don't know why they decided to go for the scrum there. Really strange decision. So line outs here to Saracens. The thing Saracens have today been very ill-disciplined. Giving straight after scoring, they've given you an opportunity to take either 3 easy points, put in the corner where your maul has been successful. They've given you that opportunity, and yet you go and take the scrum where you struggled all game. It's a very strange decision. Cardiff there penalised for being offside at the line out, so Ben Earl will come forward here on the 10-metre line. Little mistakes, little stupid penalties, and then another penalty. Another penalty there. Alan Davis is off for Saracens, and Van Zyl has come on instead. That's a really silly penalty to give away. And I think Saracens are going for the jugular here. They've stuck this one in the corner. And I think they're looking to try and kill this game off now. Another try would kill the game off. That would be it then. That would be game over, you'd think. So line out here then. 13 minutes left on the clock. Cardiff have to hold out Saracens here, you feel. Line out taken, won by Christie. Of course, as part of the Scotland squad. Don't think he got a game this Six Nations, did he, though? So driving more looks good. Van Zyl gets it out. Farrell steps inside. Poor pass from him, but the ball is still there. This looks dangerous from Saracens. Good cover defence coming in from Cardiff. Ball in here. The forwards take over just inside the 22 of Cardiff. Van Zyl goes searching for the ball, gets it into Vunipola. Both of them tries to rip it, but not able to do so. Ball out wide here, inside, lovely hands here. Farrell tackled. Saracens just outside the 22 now. Good outside to the try scorer, Sean Maitland. Into Earl. Back inside here to Christie. Tackled by Seb Davis, though. Cardiff trying to turn it over, but they've managed to slow it down. Saracens coming forward here. Cardiff need to hold their discipline. Slow down a little bit here for Saracens. Max Malins. Christie carries again. Van Zyl back inside. Oh, just about holding on to the ball there. They switched the direction of play. Vunipola is a little bit stagnant, this move now from a Saracens perspective, but they still got the possession. Oh, Max Malin somehow has gone through. Well, he scored, but I don't know how that's happened. Somehow, Max Malins has crashed through. I have no idea how that's happened. My initial reaction is there's got to be obstruction in there because I have no idea how that guy has gone through again. They've given the try. Let's have a look here. No, he just comes on a really good angle. He just comes on a really, really good angle. Oh, it's a lovely offload from Owen Farrell. I'm not the biggest fan of Owen Farrell. Many people will know that. That is a delightful offload from him. He's in the tackle, manages to release it, and he adds the 2 points as well. And to be honest, now you would think that that is game over for Cardiff. 40 points to 26 now. It's a lovely offload. It's an outrageous offload from Owen Farrell. It's a lovely offload from him. And Saracens lead now by 40 points to 26 with less than pretty much now 10 minutes on the clock. You'd think that that would be game, set and match. I think Cardiff can be proud of the way they've played, but they haven't helped themselves. Some really odd decision making in terms of, going for that scrum where they're right from the post or could put in the corner where their maul had worked well, and then just discipline in terms of the breakdown that's gone in the second half, and then the missed tackles. The missed tackles have really cost them today. Really, really cost them. Change forward, Cardiff Belcher is off in the front row. He has been replaced by Christian Dacey. So that change has gone through. And Saracens looking to kill this game off now completely. Dylan Lewis is off. And Asarati is on in the front row as well. A little bit late to make changes as well from Dai Young today. Maybe should have made them a bit earlier. Priestland off and Jared Evans is on. Glad to hear that both of them has done well. How is Shane Lewis-Hughes playing? He's had a quiet game. Done a lot of the dirty work, but I think on both of them today, it's just been exceptional at the breakdown. Really exceptional. A penalty to Cardiff here, just inside their own half. They're going to have to stick this in the corner and they're going to have to go for it, really. But 2 tries brings them level, 2 converted tries. But you're going to have to get distance on this, and it's going to be tough for them to do that. But they have got the scrum here. I think Cardiff can be I think the game plan was right from Cardiff, but individual errors have let them down today. Missing those tackles. And you got to give credit. That last try, Farrell's offload is lovely, and the line by Max Malins is brilliant. But again, the missed tackles and allowing yourselves to be caught in those areas where there's 2 props stood next together in defence and there's a 5-metre gap between them. You can't be allowing that to happen. But again, the attention now will turn, you think, towards the URC for Cardiff. I don't think any of the Welsh sides are going to get into the top 6 this season, which is a big issue. But we will be doing a fan forum at the end of the season, of course, for you guys to get your thoughts on your team's performance in the URC this season. Of course, most of the time when we do watch-alongs and content here on the channel, it is tending to be towards the URC teams. Cardiff, though, here just on the edge of the 22 of Saracens, and they have the advantage. Got to score now, really. Have the advantage. 3 points does nothing for them here. Got to try something. You've got the advantage. Thomas Williams looking to try the chip kick over the top. Wasn't a bad idea, but it won't land for Jared Evans, and will come back for the original penalty. So 7 minutes to go now. I mean, if you're Cardiff, you stick this in the corner. Just stick it in the corner and try and get something off the maul. And that's what Jared Evans is going to do. He sticks it in the corner. So line out here, 5 meters out for Cardiff. Got to score now, you feel. Another change coming here for Sarries. We'll confirm it as it happens. Clary is off in the front row, and he's been replaced by Wainwright in the front row. So Christian Dacey, this has got to be on the money. And another change for Cardiff, Seb Davis off and Williams on instead. And Williams wins the ball as well. So 6.5 minutes to go here. Another change for Cardiff, both of them off. Interesting to see, I think he's had an exceptional game. If I had to pick a star for Cardiff, it would be him. Bradley on instead of him. Cardiff coming forward here, looking dangerous. Thomas Williams tries to go alone. He's had a very good game again. Today, Cardiff going for the line as he reached. Just short. Got to score now if you're Cardiff. Got to score. They believe they've reached the line, but it's been turned over here by Saracens. And speeding away. Come Saracens. Tackled on the halfway line. What an opportunity missed for Cardiff that is. Cardiff trying to turn this one over. It's still there though for Saracens, I think. And the ball is there for Van Zyl. And that probably is the opportunity missed. Yeah, take it easy, James. Enjoy, mate, and we'll catch you next week. Plenty of content next weekend. Ulster Munster certainly will do that. Probably will do Dragon Scarlet, and more than likely we'll do Leinster against the Sharks as well. So we'll see you next weekend. Take it easy, mate. Have a good week. So just over 5 minutes to go in this one. That was the opportunity for Cardiff to score there. They needed to score. I thought they'd actually managed to reach. Oh, he's dropped it. He dropped it. Rhys Carey dropped it ever so slightly over the line. If he just managed to have that little bit of control over it, he found the space to wiggle and to put it down, he'd have scored. And it'd have made it a really interesting final 5 minutes. But he does just about drop it there. It's so close. It's so close. It is so, so close. I don't know why they're looking at this if they're double checking this. I think they're actually having a look at this try. I don't think this is a try. I think he's dropped it over the line. I don't think you can give this. I think Rhys Carey's knocked this on. Has that touched the ground? So they're trying to decide whether this ball has actually been grounded by Rhys Carey. It's really tight. It's a real difficult call, this one. I would not want to be the man making the decision on this. Has he grounded this? I don't think this is a try. I don't think you can give this other try. I think it's been knocked on here. I don't think this is going to be given. He's going to give it. Wow. He's going to give the try here. Fantastic. Hey, that's good to hear. Well, in this game, a try is going to be given to Cardiff with just over 5 minutes to go. So the try's been given here. The fans aren't happy. You can hear that. But if they can convert this, they'll be within one converted try to draw in level. And Jared Evans, with 5 minutes on the clock, if he can convert this quickly, I mean, he's taking too long, to be honest. 5 minutes to go, and he's converted it. So we are now at 33-40. Converted try in it. 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes to go. This is interesting. This is really, really interesting. I don't know. That's a real big call. That's a real big call from the referee and the TMO to say that that's a try. But Cardiff are going to have to go the length of the field if they're going to want to take this to extra time. So 4 minutes to go. Thomas Williams will send this up, and that's not the worst decision in the world because they do need to get down the field. Well taken by Malins in the air. Penalty, though, to Cardiff. Oh, that is huge. That is huge. Blocking. So Cardiff have a chance to send this down towards the 22 with 3.5 minutes to go. It's not a bad kick at all from Jared Evans. It's actually a very, very good kick from Jared Evans. 9 meters out. 9 meters out. This could be huge. Wow. Okay, we got about 3 minutes to go. Mad. This could be madness if they score here. They score here. Wow. It's a fantastic kick from Jared Evans to put them in this position. 7 meters out or so. Yeah, how can they go against or for? They've won the line-outs. Drive them all set up. I didn't think there was enough evidence to suggest that that try has been scored. Called for once. Saracens have done really, really well here. Cardiff need to get this to ground. They're going to manage to do it. I think Saracens have turned it over. They have. That's a huge, huge, huge turnover from Sarries, and Cardiff was just too slow there. Just way too slow. 2.5 minutes to go. Is that the opportunity lost for Cardiff? It's brilliant work from Christie, I think it is. But that's scrum called by Sarries. Two minutes to go. Cardiff going to have to get something from this scrum. And the scrum's really, 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 really struggled all game. I don't know why Cardiff took so long to get the ball out there. You know, get it down. Just the minute you feel the pressure coming on, just get it out. Just get it out. Just say, right, get it out. Change here for Cardiff. Seb Davis is going to have to come back on, an injury for Cardiff. So 2 minutes to go. Cardiff are going to have to get something from this scrum. Big, big scrum for Cardiff. They've got to get this right. And they go straight down. So we'll have a reset. Referee not making a call on that one. Reece Carey complaining to the referee about something. Minute and a quarter to go. Cardiff have to get something from this scrum. They've got to get something from here, otherwise Saracens will be able to send this down and have the territory. 1 minute to go then. Van Zyl will feed the scrum, but first you've got to get the scrum upright and ready to go. Scrum holds its weight. Good shove coming in from Cardiff, but Vunipola peels off the back. Brilliant tackle on him from Jared Evans. Oh, there's space out wide here for Sarries if they can get it there. Don Morris, one of the try scorers, the first try scorer of the game. Saracens just inside the Cardiff half. 30 seconds to go now. Cardiff are going to have to turn this one over. Van Zyl is asking for his forwards to come and give him options. And it looks as if that Saracens are going to see this one out and are going to go through to the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. Owen Farrell holds on to it. Going through the phases. Final 5 seconds here. Van Zyl looks to the ref, gets the nod from the ref, and it's going to be kicked off here. And Saracens are through to the quarterfinals of the Challenge Cup. They've defeated Cardiff here by 40 points to 33. Congratulations to Saracens, commiserations to Cardiff. It was close, it was nail-biting by the end, but that is the final score there. Saracens 40, Cardiff 33. Good game of rugby, though. 40 points to 33. Lots of tries. I think we had 8 tries in total. So a really, really enjoyable game of rugby. Let's quickly then have a look then at what that means for who's going to be playing who in the quarterfinals of both competitions. So if we have a look at the... Oh, it doesn't say. Never mind then. Doesn't matter then. I don't think it's going to tell us who's playing who. No, we're not going to be told yet who's playing who. But I'm going to leave it there, folks. Thank you very much for joining me on this watch-along today. We're going to be back next weekend with a couple more watch-alongs, maybe even 3. There will be videos out in the week. I'm going to be working on a few this week. But thank you very much for joining me. I hope you have enjoyed. As always, if you haven't done so already, please do hit that like button, subscribe to the channel as well, and I will see you very soon here on BS Rugby. Take it easy and